be followed by Willie Coffey.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I join my Labour colleagues this afternoon in stating that what we want to see is not only a well-funded quality education system in Scotland, but an education system that helps people from all backgrounds to succeed, an education system that allows people to fulfil their potential irrespective of their income. If this is to become a reality, this government needs to do more than just talk about improving equality and access to higher education. And that is what our motion is about today, taking action to reverse the cuts to grants for lowest income students. Can I say to the Cabinet Secretary, the post-16 bill will not, in terms of widening access, will not put money in the pockets of the poorest students. If these cuts remain, it will damage poorer people's opportunities to go to university, because the government's minimum income policy looks more like a maximum debt policy. By cutting bursaries for the poorest students by £890, the SNP are placing lower income students at a serious financial disadvantage. Instead of encouraging lower income students to enter and stay in higher education, increasing their student loan debt and cutting their bursaries is likely to have the opposite effect. If SNP members believe that increasing tuition fee debt will put off people seeking to study at university, then they must also accept that increasing student loan debt will do the same. Debt is debt, Presiding Officer. And speaking of debt, the SNP government promised to dump the student debt, and their excuse in the first term for not doing so was they didn't have a majority. Well, Presiding Officer, they have a majority now, so they can get on with it if they still want to pursue that policy. As Hugh Henry mentioned earlier, the most recent statistics on student support show the total amount paid in non-repayable awards fell by 19% in 2011-12, while the amount authorised in loans increased by over £20 million. So there is a clear trend from the Scottish Government away from bursaries towards loans. This is the reality. And when comparisons are made, as Stuart Maxwell has done, between the support available for poor students in Scotland and across the UK, the SNP's rhetoric yet again is at odds with the reality. Stuart Maxwell mentioned the combinations between loans and bursaries. Well, a maximum bursary of £1,750 is available here where household income is below £17,000, whereas in England a maximum grant of £3,354 is available where household income is below £25,000. Wales and Northern Ireland also offer better support to the poorest students. Put simply, Presiding Officer, Scotland is not the best place, but the worst place to get student support if you are poor. And rather than the Minister congratulating himself, he should be ashamed of himself. The household income threshold of £17,000 in Scotland is also now so low that if a student's parents both work full-time on the minimum wage, then their student will not qualify for the minimum income guarantee. And this is at the same time as the maximum non-income assessed loans increases to £4,500. The Scottish Government needs to prioritise support for lower income students, because it's clear we could and should be doing more to ensure lower income students are not disadvantaged in order to provide cheap loans to those from the most affluent backgrounds. I'm sure many members across the chamber will read the comments by Professor von Brandzinski yesterday, and also the compelling interventions recently from Sheila Riddle and Lucy Hunter. Presiding Officer, keep hearing from the SNP that everything would be better for students in an independent Scotland, but we know that cutting public expenditure to fund corporation tax cuts for big business is more of a priority for this SNP government. Presiding Officer, this is about priorities. Instead of cutting taxes for big business, Labour would prioritise widening access and supporting lower income students into higher education. It's not too late for the government to do the same and reverse the cuts to grants for lower income students.
Thank you very much.